to ask the question, do you believe in monsters? Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. And yes, I know that was the cringiest intro to a video that I could have possibly done. So by now you've probably heard of the brand On Running, and you know that they're Swiss engineered maybe, and that their midsoles look kind of strange. They're like little, it's like Swiss cheese almost. It's nothing like anything else on the market. I had tried one other On shoe before. I've tried the Cloud Stratus, and while I was pleasantly surprised by that shoe, I wasn't really wowed by it, and I never ended up taking it to 50 miles. So I kind of just thought they were, yeah, a good brand, but not one that I would necessarily think as a top choice to recommend. Well, I have recently been trying out a new shoe from On, and I think this is their breakthrough shoe, in my personal opinion, and that is the On Cloudmonster. Yeah, it looks a little weird, and they admit that even, but let me tell you, this shoe is fun. I did not think that I was gonna like the Monster as much as I do, but I do. So let's not waste any time. Let's get to the running footage so we can talk all about why I like this shoe so much. Before we get started today, I do want to let you know that this shoe was sent to me by On Running. However, they're not paying me to make this video. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always my own. All right, so On says that this shoe is 8.1 ounces for, I think, a women's 7 or 8, most likely an 8. But for my size, 10.5 women's, this shoe came in at 9.8 ounces. And for this big of a shoe, and yes, I have a pretty big foot and all this cushioning, being under 10 ounces was definitely surprising to me. I know it's not much, not by much, but it's pretty good. It has a 6mm drop. I don't know the exact specifics, but I know that it is 6mm. And it's not really true to size for me. I think it runs a little bit long. I do have some extra room in the toe box. This has been happening to me a lot lately though, so maybe my foot is shrinking. I don't really know. But for me, I can't exactly say it's true to size. I think that I probably would have benefited from a half size down. So let's start with the upper of the Cloudmonster. Here we have an engineered mesh. It's breathable, it's comfortable, and if we go to the midfoot, there is a little bit of structure there. Nothing crazy, but it does help to keep your midfoot locked in. And we have a nice solid heel counter. Not really stiff, but I didn't have any issues with it kind of moving around, or I didn't have any heel slippage either. It also feels like it's gonna be pretty durable and last a long time. As I said, definitely a breathable shoe. I think it's gonna be fine as the weather starts to get warmer. I'm definitely feeling wind passing through that forefoot. If we turn the shoe this way, I don't think it's terribly narrow. I wouldn't call it a wide shoe, but I think that people with different foot types will be able to fit in here and be generally comfortable. The lacing system on here looks a little bit more standard than some of the other On shoes that I've tried, as you can see here. Nothing too crazy. In the Cloud Stratus, they had a very strange lacing configuration. I'll try to put a picture or something here that you can see. I'm happy that they went a little bit more standard here, just something that I get along with better. I'm also digging the tongue of this shoe. It's pretty thin, so you'd think it would slip around, but good news, it's gusseted. So it sits right in place, it does not move, and it just wraps your foot nicely and comfortably. And yeah, padding around the ankle collar, love to see it. It's a pretty good upper. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I had no issues with hot spots, breathability, or irritation. I just wish that maybe the sizing was a little bit different. Okay, so now let's move down to the really fun part of this shoe, the complete eye grabber, the thing that everyone wants to know about. The midsole. Here On is using their Cloudtech technology more than they ever have before, and those are the holes that you see throughout the midsole. The clouds are made up of On's Helion foam, and that's pretty standard throughout their line of shoes, Helion foam. It's, I think, EVA based. And sandwiched inside between the upper and the midsole is the Speedboard technology. It's not a carbon fiber plate, but it does add a little bit of rigidity and just snap to the ride of this shoe. One of the biggest issues with the Cloud Stratus is that I didn't feel like the Cloud technology was really compressing and giving me like a nice cushioned ride. I felt like it was a little bit firm. Not as firm as I thought it would be, but still kind of leaving a little to be desired. That is not the case here in the Monster. On said, let's turn the volume all the way up, give them more cushioning than they've ever felt before, and I will say you definitely do feel it. When I was running, I felt the clouds compressing and springing back to regular form and just giving me a nice pop. So enjoyable. It really caught me by surprise. The cool thing about this shoe is that while it's supposed to be like a max cushion shoe, which typically is for slower, easier days, maybe longer days. When I was picking up the pace in this shoe, it felt great, and it actually made me feel like I wanted to run a little bit quicker. I just think with the little extra cushioning you're getting here in the Monster with that speed board, they really go hand in hand and give you such a fun and versatile ride. Something interesting that I noticed is that I really felt the compression more under like the medial side of my foot, specifically like under my big toe in that area. It's not that I didn't feel it on the lateral side at all, but I just felt it more on the medial side. Could definitely be my foot strike because I do have a tendency to kind of lean this way a bit when I'm running. But just something I wanted to point out. I don't know if maybe they did that for a reason and wanted you to have a little bit more power under that big toe to kind of push you forward. One thing I do want to say though is that if you're looking for this shoe to feel like a Bondi or a Fresh Foam More V3, one of those kind of max cushion shoes, it's not going to feel that way. You could certainly call this a max cushion shoe. I mean, look at it. But it doesn't feel exactly like that. I don't feel a sinking sensation in this shoe. It's not going to feel like pillows under your feet. So if you're into that kind of thing, this might not be the realm that you kind of want to dip into. But if you want a max cushion shoe that is a little bit more resilient, a little bit more poppy, and lively of a ride, then this is definitely something that you're going to want to dive into. There's no doubt in my mind that this shoe can do any distance that you really want to do in it. No problem doing marathons. I can totally see it being great for that. And I could also see it being great for shorter distances as well. I really think that it's going to be up to the runner here and what they want to do with the shoe, and it will just go with the flow. It also appears to be fairly stable of a shoe. I'm not overpronating too much here. And I think it's gonna be a durable shoe as well. This stuff feels pretty resilient and like it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm excited to see kind of how far I can take it. This is the kind of feeling underfoot that I was looking for from this Cloudtech technology. And I'm glad that I finally got it in the Monster. If we turn the shoe over, you'll see that On is using their Cloudtech rubber here. Got a couple pods in the forefoot, got a couple pods in the heel, and it gets the job done. I don't really have anything terribly interesting to say about it. There is zero sign of wear really anywhere in the forefoot and none in the heel either. And the exposed foam elements here seem unscathed as well, so that is definitely a positive. I felt confident out there. I felt like this rubber was getting it done, gripping onto the surface, and I think it's just another great addition to the Monster. What can I say? The On Cloudmonster is $169.95 on runningwarehouse.com. On shoes can be a little bit higher in price, and I probably wouldn't tell you that it was justifiable previously, but after running in this shoe, I think that this shoe, the Monster, is justifiable. It's still hefty. I still wish it was a little bit less, but I think this is a really fun shoe, so okay, fine. If you're interested in picking up your own pair of the Cloudmonster, you can do so at the link in the description of this video. Just click that link and pick up your own pair. Keep in mind, this is an affiliate link with Running Warehouse. However, that doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can run in shoes called monsters. I love that. I love that this is called a monster. It does look kind of monstrous, doesn't it? I didn't mention this before, but I have 2 5-mile runs in it. Both I kind of picked up the pace in some areas and I brought it back in some others. And it just felt great in every scenario. And I can't wait to keep running in this shoe. And I kind of want to take it on like a really long run if I do any of those coming up soon and see how it does, because I feel like this could be really good and fun for that sort of thing. But time will tell. And until then, we're just going to keep running in the monster. Well, everyone, that concludes my first run impressions of the On Cloudmonster. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe when you're done with all that. Hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. I can see this being kind of like monstrous looking. It's giving Muppet energy, or like, at first I felt like shark energy or whale energy. I don't know. It definitely like looks like something, but I can't pinpoint what exactly. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time. It was a mash. It was a monster mash. The monster mash. It was a graveyard session monster mash. It was a monster mash. Wow. Wow.